Hey folks, and welcome to DevTrends. Today we're gonna talk about React New Context API and Google JavaScript Style Guide. So React 16.3 has been officially released. We've done a quick roundup on its features a week ago, while it was still in beta, and shortly after a new minor version has came live. And one of the most prominent features of version 16.3 is new revamped Context API. Old API has been around for literally years and now is deprecated and will be removed in next major release, number 17. So what's React Context? Actually, it's a simple way to pass some data to deeply nested components without using props rollercoaster. It will be a good fit for, as an example, sharing current logged user data with all related components without any global state like Redux. But React Context is not a replacement of Redux, just a handy feature to share some common data. And let's see how it works on a simple example. So there are simple project with React and React render installed. We will use Parcel, so we don't need any additional config. So we got index.html file with the main container where React application will mount. We got a script index.js, which is our entry file. So here is React render application, and application is mounted to main HTML tag. So let's switch to our app.js and let's write a simple example of new React Context API. So let's import React. Here we import component as well and a new method called createContext from React. Then we create a new context. Not context, but consumer. So there are two new classes called provider and consumer. So it's like components. And let's create a context. So it will be our new context with some value. It can be object, but we just for simplicity create a simple string called hello here. So we got provider component, consumer component. Provider will keep this base value and consumer will consume it. So let's create some component that will be like a consumer, so that will consume this hello property. Let it be just button. Let's don't pass any props, and let's wrap it with this new consumer component. And here we got a rendered prop. So our hello value, it will be the title of our button. So let's create a button itself here, and let's just render this title here. So we'll pass the hello value to this consumer. And here let's just write default component in class notation. That'd be constructor, super. And here let's add some state inside this our base app component, and let it be title here with some default value hello as well. And let's render. So here we add, let's return. So here we add this another provider component, and here is a special prop called value, and here we pass this value. Actually, we don't need state for now. Let's just pass this hello value, and just for simplicity remove state for now. And here we can include our button. For example, let's make a div, and let's include our button component here. So this is pretty it. So you can see there is provider, there is our button component, and button component consumes with consumer this title value that we pass as a value here. So let's save it. Button, let it be button. So let's check if it works. Let's start with parcel, index.html. Let's go to localhost 234, and you can see there is a button rendered with the title hello. So you can see that we've passed this value hello without any props, any additional state, and so on. So just from the parent component to the child component. As I've already said, this new React Context API is intended to pass some data to deeply nested components. So let's extend this example a bit more. Let's add some middle component. Let it be toolbar here. And for example, let's pass change title method as a prop here to see how we can change this context value dynamically. And let's render, for example, a button here. Let's add this onClick prop as well. Change title. And let's, for example, add three buttons here. Okay, so next we create same onClick property here in the for the button, and onClick. So when we click, our button should cause this change title method, should execute, and here let's add a state for now, title, and instead of passing raw value here, we just paste a state. So this state title. So the last thing we need to add is our, of course, toolbar component with a change title prop. And here let's add methods called change title. It will dynamically change the state, so it will change the title of button element. So let's just call this state, let it be function here, and title will be if state title, if current state title is hello, then we render, for example, by, and otherwise we change to hello again. So this change title. So that's pretty it. Let's see how it works, and let's go through after if it works, of course. So we got three buttons, and you can see that our state of these buttons changes dynamically when we click on each of these buttons. So here we added additional toolbar middleware component that will pass this provider value, so the context value through the provider to the consumer without any additional logic So you can see there is our main component, app, and here is our provider, which passes the state of the app component to the through the toolbar element right to the consumer of this element. So you can see there is consumer and there is title we defined here in our state. So that's pretty it. By the way, all this example is available on my GitHub. So the link will be in the description below, so okay, you can check it. So this way you can easily pass any data to deeply nested components without struggle with typing props on each level. And React 16.3 also has many new features, including, for example, new lifecycle methods, and you can check it out, the announcement linked in the description below. When we need some extent of consistency in our JavaScript code, especially in multi-developer projects, we tend to use various JS linters along with some common options. The most popular model linter is slint, and the most popular style guide is Airbnb's one. But there is a solid alternative which is made by Google and located in their GitHub pages. Google JavaScript style guide is a pretty comprehensive document containing all rules that are used internally in Google in their JavaScript projects, along with explanations for specific choices. It is made with Google's inherent attention to detail, starting from terminology, usage, and ending with how to use, for example, JSDoc tag reference. So this is more a form of official document, and it may be a bit heavy to read through, but fortunately we have a nice article by Daniel Simmons who leads us through the most noteworthy parts of the guide. So if you'd like to know how JavaScript things are in Google, follow these pages, and if you want to utilize this guide in your own project, there is also a good library. This is slint config Google, which helps you add Google tailored consistency to your code with the help of slint. So that's all for today, folks. All the links are in the description below. Thank you for watching and stay trendy.